Good evening, and hope that all of you are doing great with your families. As we know, the 2022 Ontario general election will be held on June 2nd to elect our member of parliament for the province to serve in the 43rd Ontario Parliament. This election is one of the most important elections that Ontarians will face because of many issues and challenges: economy, education, healthcare, Northern Ontario, jobs, affordability, etc. Can RTV, the Arab Voice from Canada, already send requests to interview liberal, conservatives, and NDP candidates to introduce them to our audience and to hear from them about their policies and the challenges in their ridings. So today we will meet with one of the active member of the community and a liberal candidate for London Fanshawe, Zeba Hashmi. Please welcome her. Hi, Zeba. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Jamal, for having me on.
It's my pleasure. And I know we still have around 18 days for the election. We will talk about the ways that people can go earlier to vote by the end of our interview. But first of all, please introduce yourself to our audience. People would like to know more about you.
Yes. So my name is Zeba Hashmi, and I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 3 grown kids, and I'm also a daughter of seniors who live on the border of Ontario and Quebec. And I have been in this community for a very long time. My family arrived here in 1976. And, we face those challenges that all newcomers face. And, I saw my dad working very hard as a microbiologist. My mom was the budgeter. And, from them, I've learned quite a lot, and how to manage, how to do teamwork, and how to give back to the community. And that's something that I believe in. One of my main purposes in life is, first of all, to uplift others, and secondly, to see how we can do things better. And in whatever capacity that I do work here in London, Ontario, on different boards and committees and different initiatives, such as we also have an initiative where we serve the homeless. So we see a lot of things that take place, at the ground level, the impact of our policies on people. And actually, now that I'm within the campaign, I'm door knocking and I'm hearing from people. So it's quite a lot of learning that's taking place, but I'm also excited with what's more to come in the future.
And that's very important, to be on the ground, to feel the people that you would like to represent, to be one of them. So tell me more about the riding you are representing, London Fanshawe. How big is it geographically? We know that it's around 100,000, but maybe the challenges in this riding, that it's a little bit different than other ridings.
Mhm.
And if you can also tell us about the Muslim community inside London Fanshawe.
Yes, so it's quite a big riding. As all ridings are, as you mentioned, over 100. I believe it's 180,000 population. I'll have to verify that. But it is one of the ridings that has the lowest average income, and it also has the lowest voter turnout rate. So those are two interesting factors. And you asked about the Muslim population. So according to StatsCan, what I can see from the language distribution, it has about 3% Arabic-speaking population. And also in terms of Urdu, Hindi, there is about a 0.3 or so. So we're looking at approximately a 3% population of perhaps Middle Eastern, South Asian individuals residing.
How diverse is the community there? Is it like more specific? I don't want. I
I
maybe
Yeah,
want to. Yeah.
Yes, I am seeing a lot of diversity. I guess, I mean, we started hitting the ground, literally the pavement, and going door to door, and that's been over the past 2 to 3 weeks. So lots of diversity, different doors that we knock. Um, um,
Do you
so
think
I do.
there is
Yeah.
some move from GTA to London in
Oh,
the recent
yes.
years?
Yes. So people have moved. There has been a big shift from the GTA coming down to London, and we are increasing in our population growth and diversifying, which is, really, I think it's a beautiful sight, to see our, mid-sized city growing. But of course, with growth, there comes needs as well, and that's something that we will have to work on, the city further, to accommodate the growing population when it comes to housing, when it comes to better transportation, when it comes to transportation within London, but also to London and then out of London. So there's lots of challenges ahead, and this is going to require the collaboration of all levels of government
I
to
agree.
make this into a very successful and well-oiled, I guess, city.
So you mentioned that in your riding it has a low income like age.
On the
So
average, yes.
on the average, yeah, I
Mhm.
would say like not everybody for sure. What like let's start with this. As we know, after the pandemic, a lot of economy were hit, not only in Canada, not only in Ontario, but almost everywhere in the world. However, in these kind of places, like as we understand in London, Fanshawe, it will be harder to recover because there is no high income possibility like factories or big universities or whatever. So, what do you think that you, as a member of provincial parliament, can do to improve this situation for your riding?
Yes. So that's why I'm excited about the platform that the Ontario Liberals have presented. Now, this is, keeping in mind that people have been suffering over the past 2 years. It has not been easy with COVID-19, and with all the impacts of COVID-19 in terms of what people have faced. Just with their basic, I guess you can just go down to the basic, roots of like mental health, employment. Just getting back on their feet again, and you address that it is on the average a lower income riding. So what the party is focusing on is policies around affordability. So they may sound simple enough, but I'm really excited because they interconnect with other factors. For example, the party has promised, if elected, they will take the HST off your restaurant bill, $20 and under per
Okay.
individual. Now, this may impact, a family. They may be saving perhaps 250 or so, per year. But if we consider the, how it also connects to small businesses, how this is going to be
Okay.
benefiting small, businesses such as restaurant owners, and it'll help them as well as families who, we know that people are busy nowadays, and you have to, you do occasionally, you have to pick up something for the family. So the family is going to be benefiting from this, as well as the small businesses. Another program that they will be bringing in is called a Baka Ride, province wide. And again, it's something simple, but think of the impact. $1 for your fare, capped at $40 for the month. But think about the impact in terms of, obviously, helping those who use the transit service, but also reviving our transit system. Um,
And the environment's true.
Exactly, because over the past 2 years, people have slowed down. They haven't been taking the bus as much, and as you said, the environment. So this is reported to take off 400,000 cars.
With gas prices, it's
Yeah,
it's crazy. It should be an
exactly.
option.
So it's like a win-win policy. Um, where you're helping individuals, you're helping the environment, you're helping take cars off the road, you're helping commuters. We know in the GTA, London also, it's a growing city, so we do have backlogs. We do have traffic jams. So this is really, I think, brilliant policies that's very helpful to people. Also, you must have heard about $10 a day childcare. Uh, and that's also essential for men and women who are working, family members who are working. They require childcare, and again, this is going to be helping families, but at the same time, it creates a demand. Creates a demand for more people to enter that sector and help with the childcare. So, as simple as these policies sound, they are pretty much interwoven with other facets, that are beneficial towards all of society.
So let's talk about seniors. I know that maybe not all ridings are equal with senior numbers, but I've known that London and Ontario, especially your riding, have a huge number of seniors. Do you think that there is a bigger attention from the Liberal Party if they became in power for these seniors?
I think overall, as a population, we have more seniors right now. Um, our population is growing old, and we do need better elder care. And again, I'm very impressed with how the party is thinking and what they have brought forth. Because we know, I mean, it's been a dreadful situation of what we've heard, right, over the past 2 years. I mean, this should not happen to any member of society, of what our seniors, those who have contributed, towards society, and what they have gone through, what they have endured, because we didn't have the correct things in place. And what the leadership now is proposing with the Ontario Liberals is a system where we're not going to be relying on privatized long-term care, because we know it does not work. So we need better oversight within our system. But at the essence of what is being proposed is providing dignity and independence for our seniors, so they are able to age in the comfort of their environment and in their homes. So provide them with the care that they need. So, have PSWs in place, have the healthcare staff in place that is needed to support our seniors. And again, that's tied in with our PSWs, as we know, are essential. Nurses are essential, and this goes back to our healthcare system. And PSWs are not getting the wage that they deserve right now. And Ontario Liberals will be giving them $25 per hour, and giving them what they rightfully deserve. And then, of course, this will be examined further on as to what else is needed. But I think that's a brilliant way to tackle the issue. We have to respect the healthcare workers that are working hard, and support them, and have a system in place where we are able to recruit, increase the number of people that we have available to support our elders, and make it easier for them.
It's good that you touch on healthcare, because it's my next questions. As we know, on during the COVID-19 time, we felt and we understood exactly what's wrong with our healthcare system. We believe that our healthcare system is much better than other places, but after the COVID and what we've seen, we know now we need something dramatically to change in our healthcare to be able to shift in case of emergencies, of case of global pandemics, or etc. So, what do you think the Liberal Party and you yourself can do to do a real change, a move forward, not backward, sadly? What do you
Yes.
think you can do?
Yeah. So again, the policies that have gone into place, they have. I actually really admire and appreciate the process that has taken place. So there was a consultation process that took place over a year ago, And the chairs of that committee, they were they accepted anybody approaching them with any kind of ideas or any issues on their mind, and they held meetings that went into countless hours, meeting with different groups and individuals and listening and looking at the real issues that Ontario.
Within the party or
Yes,
within the
no, it was open to anybody,
okay,
but yes,
okay.
this was for the party, for them to formulate their platform, and this is how they came up with all these policy points. But back to the healthcare question that you are asking. Um, so the motto or the platform, they're calling it a place to grow, and they are looking into boosting funding for health and wellness. And Ontario Liberals realize that over the past years, especially over the COVID years, we've had a backlog. Anybody who needs to get, for example, any kind of surgery done, any kind of diagnostic test done, it's a long wait, and it's been tough on people. And what Ontario Liberals will be doing is injecting money into the healthcare system, and recognizing there's a critical shortage of healthcare workers. So, first of all, working towards increasing the staffing, and also creating a system where people are able to better schedule, or a better form of scheduling these appointments, these surgeries, and ensuring that we get over the backlog by having these schedules available
The-
on weekends, and actually just
okay.
trying to maximize the scheduling for surgeries. And
Is there any increase in number of beds, doctors,
yeah,
nurses?
yeah. Actually, I have
Are
the
there?
numbers right here. So,
Okay,
to address the critical shortage of healthcare workers, the Ontario Liberals will be creating 3,000 new hospital beds
okay.
and build up capacity across the province. And they'll be investing 1 billion to clear the surgery and diagnostic backlog, 30 million in training 3,000 new mental health and addiction professionals, 224 million to open 15 new community health centers, 159 million to hire more mental health first responders, and then 174 million to hire 1,000 more mental health professionals for our kids. Um, so that's actually a breakdown.
So I've read during the policy of the Liberal Party, even there will be a ministry for mental health, which is first of its kind in Ontario, I think,
Mhm.
and maybe in whole Canada.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
My next topic is the education. As a family, as a mother, as a parent, we all suffer with our kids from online schooling, and then back to face, then back to online, then back to face. Then sometimes teacher are not there because they are sick and they can't find the replacement. Number of students in the class now reach the max. So what do you think the Liberal Party can help our kids and youth? As we know, this is the most, for me, it's the most important topic because we are talking about our future, our
Yep.
kids,
Hmm.
our youth, that they will build the country after 10, 10, 15 years.
Right.
So this
Right.
is very important. Please.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. Our children have been suffering. It's been really tough on them with, as you mentioned, online learning. It's been tough for teachers. It's been tough for parents. And something really ingenious. So Stephen Del Duca, the leader of the Ontario Liberal Party, um, I think very early on, he mentioned that we actually don't have a need for a certain Highway 413, which is going to be saving us quite a lot of money. Just trying to find the amount. I believe it was 10 billion.
Around 10, yeah, around 10,
That
yeah.
that and that he was then. This is a while back that he said we would be putting into education. And I was thinking at that point, what a smart move, because this is what we needed. And so with this money going into education, it's really going to help, first of all, the physical environment of the schools, because many of our schools are not in great conditions. There's a lot of backlog in terms of the repair work that's needed. So that's going to take place. Repair work, better ventilation, and also building more schools. That money is going to be used towards that, and also hiring more teachers. And we're going to need more teachers because class sizes are going to be capped at 20. So right now, I'm hearing even numbers such as like 30 and even more than that, 30, 40s, some extremely large numbers. And I'm not sure how students are managing, how teachers are managing, but the class sizes will be capped at 20, and with a better environment, a cleaner environment in terms of the air. And I think we're looking at a better future when it comes to our children, because first of all, their health and their mental well-being, that's essential, and that's the most essential thing that you need, is a really good and healthy environment for them.
Well, back to the economy. As you know, you're living in this province, and you go to the supermarket and you fill your gas, and you want to buy something better for yourself, for your kids, for your family, gifts. Everything getting expensive. Affordability became a big issue in Ontario, especially with the small things. I'm not talking about buying a luxury yacht or a cruise somewhere, but like even with the small things, putting food on your table for your family and your beloved ones. uh, what you gonna do to solve this problem, because it is a global, but we are a G7 country. We are living in the biggest province in Canada, and we are almost the factory of this country.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's getting more and more difficult with the cost of everything. Um, and again, I'm, the things that I mentioned at the beginning of our session. It's the small things that hopefully can impact the residents of London Fanshawe, the residents of Ontario. Saving on transportation, saving on that takeout dinner or that restaurant meal, saving on childcare. Um, so these are the things that perhaps
The
people
most.
can benefit a little bit from. But one of the big chunks of our monthly bill, goes towards the shelter over our heads, and that's something the party will be
The housing.
doing, is reinstating rent control.
Mhm.
So people have more certainty in their lives, as to the increases they can expect. Uh, right now, it's very tough for people without any kind of rent control. There's a two-tiered market, and it's not fair to people when people have to pay more than 1/3 of their income on rent. I mean, people are paying up to 2/3 of their income, and as you mentioned, it doesn't leave much for those extra little things. And we're not even talking about luxuries, just that little extra thing you may need in the month. And so that's one of the ways the party is working to help people.
Great. Great. I know the housing topic is really very sensitive because it involved the federal, provincial, and the municipal. It involved the private and the public sector. It's involved the businesses and the money, the banks. It's very complicated, but I hope we can really do something to change the situation, especially after the
Yes.
pandemic. Yeah. Uh, Tell me honestly, you're knocking door every day, and I know it's a very hard time during the campaign, but honestly, what is the most or the most important issue you are hearing every single day from the residents of London Fanshawe?
I think in general, in general, I have to tell you one thing that I'm observing, that I think is just a testament to humankind, and just how amazing people are. Just the resilience that I see on people's faces and their smiles, and it's funny. So people have this opportunity to speak about any kind of issues that they have, but many are just very resilient. They'll be saying, "I'm fine," and and I mean, I'm even talking about the meal service that we have for the homeless folks. When we talk to them as well, they're just amazing, amazing, amazing people. And this is how we are as Canadians. I mean, these are people who are standing in line for a meal, and yet they don't complain. They're just fine with whatever they have in life, and thankful for that. But of course, we're not going to be relying on the good naturedness of people, and we have to do better for people. And affordability, of course, is one of the number one issues out there that people are struggling with, and will continue to struggle with, just because of what we're seeing in terms of gas prices, and the cost of everything going up. But hopefully, as I see, there's a good plan in place. There's good leadership in place. There's a new team in place, and I'm very hopeful for the future. And I know if we all work together, and you mentioned that, Dr. Jamal, like, if we all work together, and collaborate federally, provincially, municipally, and have those objectives as a target, we can certainly arrive there, and we can certainly do a lot of beneficial work for everybody.
I hope so. I hope so. Hate crimes, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, all these kind of crazy ideas of these people coming into Canada, which we don't like. I know we don't want, especially what happened in worship places, synagogue, mosques, churches. It's unacceptable. What happened to people walking in just cultural dress because they are proud of what they are, especially what happened with the Zalk family in London. So please tell me, how is the riding now in London, Fanshawe, and do you think that we really need to tackle systemic racism and hate crimes?
Oh, you know what? There's always, unfortunately, I mean, we have a society full of good people, and that's what we saw after the Afzal tragedy a year ago. We had this heinous act of terrorism take place, and then immediately afterwards, we had the whole city come out and support us. And it's just heartbreaking. And I was a friend of Madiha Salman, and it's just unbelievable that happened a year ago. But in terms of what you're saying, hate crimes, I mean, we just heard what happened south of the border, a crime based on racism, where I have to read further the details, but where a Black family was shot. So this is the reality of life, unfortunately, that this still exists. And and there is ongoing need for education, and this is something we can't deny. Many of us, who are racialized individuals, such as myself, people from the Black community, people from the Indigenous community, people from the Jewish community, we have all faced something, whether, as you mentioned, an attack at a site of worship, or something that's said to us, or something as fatal as the Afzal family tragedy. So this is something of concern, and what's in the platform is, of course, immediately passing our London Family Act, um, which on which a great amount of work has taken place by amazing advocacy organizations such as NCCM and our local group HICMA in London, Ontario. So that's number one. And also, what the Ontario Liberal Party is planning to do is to have a better system in place where we are training our police officers, where there is diversity training, cultural sensitivity training towards de escalating situations, a better understanding of the different, the needs of the different races out there. And also, there is also a proposal to have a cabinet minister specifically focus on this issue
Wow.
of racism. So I think that's something very unique. Um, and also, as well, of course, education. I would just, as I mentioned, we need more education in this area, and that all comes under our London Family Act as well.
Great. Uh, as we know that the election will be held on June 2nd, so it's within 18 days. However, you can still go and vote on early votes from 19th to the 28th of this month, May. So, which is within less than a week. You can go cast your ballot within 5-10 minutes and enjoy your next candidate or MPP actually. But if you would like to help and know more about Zeba Hashmi, you can go to the website. It's on the screen now. Read about her. Maybe you can pay a visit or call. Uh, if you like her ideas, if you like her views, maybe you can volunteer, maybe donate, because our candidates they work hard during this time and they need our help to let them work harder when they get elected. So I hope if she gets elected, she will not forget those people in her riding who helped her. I know that she will work for everybody in the riding, but those people, I think they will have a special place in her heart at least. So please uh, volunteer, donate money, and the most important, go and vote. Uh, Ziba, it's a pleasure to talk to you, but I would like to leave this interview with your message to your audience in your riding, what you expecting from them, especially these days. 18 days to go, very important and crucial days, and especially on June 2nd. It's your message.
Um, I think you said it quite well, Dr. Jamal, all that is needed. It's a very important time right now. As Dr. Jamal mentioned, 18 days left before Election Day, lots of work to do. And also, as Dr. Jamal, a very important point that he mentioned, that this is only the start. The most important work comes after. But of course, this is the most important part of the process of getting in. Uh, but I myself, I am somebody who has served people for the last 2 decades. In whatever city I was living in, this is what I do. I get involved and I work with the people for the people, and I'm a hard worker, and I don't lose track of that. And this is something that I'm doing for those that live in London Fanshawe. This is not about me. It's about the people. It's about your voices. It's about what you need. And I will continue to work for the next 18 days, knocking on doors and listening to people and doing whatever I need to do as part of our great democratic process that we have here in Ontario and in Canada. And it would be wonderful, for you to, of course, get out and vote. But if you are able to volunteer with calling or canvassing, that would just be very much appreciated.
I just would like to remind everybody that voting is a duty. It's something Canada and Ontario here in this case waiting for us to do. So voting is an expression of our commitment to ourselves first, for sure, to one another, for our family, to this country, and maybe to the world, because with our vote we can change really the outcome of the future. I just want to remind everybody that in the last election we had a candidate who won with only one vote difference. It was one vote, and this person, maybe it's my friend, maybe it's your friend, but he made the change. So do not underestimate your voice. Go and vote. Please do it, because this is the least you can do to make and to keep this country going forward in the right direction. To vote for the right person, for the right party, and for the right leadership. Zeba, it was a great pleasure for me and for Kanar TV and for our audience to meet you. We wish you all the best. We're looking to see you soon. I hope maybe as a member of the parliament, to tell us more about your future plan for Fanshawe, for London Fanshawe, and maybe for Ontario in general.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jamal. Really a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you so much for having me.
It was my great honor to meet Zeba Hashmi, the Liberal candidate, the Ontario Liberal candidate for London Fanshawe. Wish to see you in our next episode, which will be coming next Saturday with another candidate. See you later, and good night.